Thank you and welcome. Welcome everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join me on this fabulous warm day outside, but fabulous webinar here. This is the 4 keys to ultimate brain health. I want to begin today and I invite you to join me as I share with you my journey of where I have been and where I am today. Fallen to my knees, curled up in a ball, I found myself weeping. Banging my hands to my head, I felt I was going crazy. Up to this point, life was going pretty good. Why did I feel this way? Overweight, depressed, unable to sleep, fatigued, constant sweating? What was happening? I realized I had entered what others had described to me as menopause. Unfortunately, I continued feeling this way day after day, week after week, and thoughts were not going away. I couldn't get rid of them. Even I would find myself in the middle of the night, waking up and unable to sleep. I had enough. What if there was a better way to handle this dreaded time and not just live with it? Then the light bulb went off. I was determined to find not only how to cope, but how to learn all I could about menopause so I could beat the odds and have a better life. Hi, my name is Karla Weiss, and I'm with Radically Transformed Coaching. I am a certified brain health coach, holistic health coach, and a registered nurse. My education comes from Athabasca University, Institute of Integrated Nutrition, and Amen University. Today, I will show you why your brain matters, the 4-circle approach to health, some of the important numbers you need to know about how to have your brain healthy, and the components of a brain healthy diet. If you would like to know more, I am doing a more intense education on these topics and more with information from my Be Your Best coaching program. In this program, I will teach you how to detox your mind, how to eat smart, and how to know how to maximize your exercise strategies that are designed just for you. The link and dates and time will be forwarded to you at the end of the webinar. Now, it is my mission to help women and men just like you going through any transition, particularly here is with menopause, to gain control over any symptoms and develop tools to be able to feel as amazing as I do. I help women who are transitioning through menopause by learning how to minimize brain fog, weight gain, bloating, insomnia, or any other symptoms. Menopause is a natural aging process. However, it doesn't have to be a definition of you or your life. I am still going through menopause, eliminating, and yet I've been able to lose weight. I've been able to eliminate my symptoms that once often plagued me. Changes come our way all the time, but it is our actions that help us to overcome them. A better way always can be discovered, but it is up to us to begin that process. And I believe we are all meant to live life with purpose, clarity, and better health, so we will be able to be more present for ourselves and a positive influence on our families. We deserve to be happy with ourselves, our body, but are often plagued with past hurts, low self-esteem, negative thinking. And I want to show you when you release this baggage and renew your minds, you can begin your self-confidence and take care of yourselves better. We do not have to be stuck with the current situation. You can change that, and I will show you how to do that. So why does your brain matter? You see, when I first started taking a look at my thoughts and began analyzing what I was thinking and asked myself why I was feeling that way, I wanted to see if there was anything I could do to crush the thoughts in my head. I started taking a closer look at my diet, my exercise, and I tried many different plans and programs, failing at most of them. I also looked at how I was sleeping, my mood and energy level. I looked at my hormones and how they affected how I was feeling. So when I modified what I was eating, began exercising regularly, and became more serious about how my decisions affected my health, I started feeling better because now I had a game plan and saw what I had been lacking all along. Clothes I only dreamed of wearing were now fitting. Cravings, bloating, and issues, they were minimized. Night sweats, well, that all went away. So the first key is, why does your brain matter? The first reason is your brain is involved in everything that you do and everything that you are, including how you think, how you feel, how you act, and how you get along with others. Your brain is the organ behind your intelligence, character, personality, and every decision that you make. Your brain decides if you should get married or divorced. Your brain manages your money, helps you be accessible at work. Your brain pushes you away from the table, telling you have had enough, or gives you permission to have a third bowl of ice cream. Most people don't really think about their brains because it's a huge mistake. Success in anything begins with the health of your brain. The second reason is when your brain works right, you work right. But when your brain doesn't work right, then there's trouble in your life. So when your brain works right, you'll be happier, physically healthier, as you'll be making wiser decisions, wealthier, also for the same reason, and will be more successful in all that you do when you have a healthy brain. However, when it doesn't work right, then you will be sadder, sicker, poor, and less successful. Third reason, your brain is the most amazing energy-hungry organ in the universe. Your brain has over 100 billion cells, each connected to each other's cells by up to 1,000 or 10,000 individual connections. You have more connections in your brain than there are stars in the universe. Your brain has a storage capacity of 3 million hours of TV shows. You ever wonder when you were a kid, you laid on the grass in the summer night and you looked up at the stars and the stars that are in the sky, and you have more connections than that. That is phenomenal. Your brain is about 2% of your body weight, or about 3 pounds. It uses about 20 to 30% of the calories you consume and 20% of your body's blood flow. Your brain is the most metabolically expensive piece of real estate in your body. This is important because any form of oxygen deprivation, scary event like a near drowning, sleep apnea, can damage your brain. Your brain is the consistency of soft butter or soft eggs, egg whites, and is surrounded by a really hard skull. So when you tap your head, it's really hard, but the brain inside is very soft. So your brain, that hard skull has sharp bony ridges that if you have a head injury, it makes your brain easily injured. It's like Jell-O, egg whites, softness, jarring motions, and head injuries can cause the brain to slam into the hard interior of the skull, causing brain injuries that can ruin lives. Traumatic brain injuries are a major cause of psychiatric illnesses. It has been linked to homelessness, drug and alcohol abuse, anxiety, panic attacks, depression, ADD or ADHD, learning problems, school failure, murder, suicide, domestic violence, job, it can go on and on and on. There's so many things with a traumatic brain injury that it can cause. Soft brain plus hard skull with sharp ridges equals trouble. This is why we need to protect the brain that we have. Number 5, many things can hurt the brain. So along with drugs, alcohol, environmental toxins, and of course TBI or traumatic brain injuries, there are other things that are bad for your brain. So for instance, obesity, when we're more than what we should be weighing. Sleep apnea, when we actually stop breathing at nighttime. Hypertension, high blood pressure, high normal blood pressure levels, many medications, or even our standard diet that's filled with preservatives, sweeteners, pesticides, sugars, unbalanced hormones, negative thinking, and even spending time with unhealthy people. Isn't that amazing? Number 6, there are many things that actually can help the brain. I want to leave you on a negative side. There's lots of things can help. Okay, so learning new information. So if you take information like this, that's actually helping your brain. If you take a new course, if you pick up a new art or a new hobby, things like that, that's all helping your brain. Great nutrition, coordination exercises, meditation, loving, relationships, and certain nutrients like B6, B12, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, all those things will also help your brain. Best thing you can do is spend time with healthy people. Usually it's noted that when we have habits of spending time with healthy people, those habits will also influence us to be healthy too. But on the flip side, if we are spending time with negative people and unhealthy, that influence can also influence us as well. So in the first module of Be Your Best coaching program, I discuss more about this in great detail. My first module is called Detoxifying Your Mind. We discuss what is mindset, attitudes, and beliefs, and how these are all connected. We discuss about the ants in your head. Yes, these are the automatic negative thoughts and how to get rid of them, how to identify them, and how to plan to get rid of them. The next time I present this module is March 1st. And again, I have said those links will be in the comments at the end of the module of today's presentation. So here I want to show you a little bit of a difference between a healthy brain and an unhealthy brain. Okay, what happens with, it's a very good visual of why it's important to take care of our brain, because when we have our healthy brain, then we're going to be more successful, making better decisions, things like that. But unhealthy brain, our brain then is losing that capacity to make those healthy decisions. So in the second key is assessment. And there's 4 areas that we need to discuss if we want to become a little bit more or a lot more healthier. These is called the 4-circle approach. These are key factors that impact your mental and physical health. So the first factor is your biological, then it's psychological, social connections, and spiritual. And we're going to dive into them just a little bit. But I do dive more into these into my Be Your Best coaching program. So the first one is your biological. This is your body. Okay, this is your physical aspects of your brain and body and how they function together. So think of your brain like a computer. Okay, we all have to get on the computer to get onto a Zoom call. So think of your brain as that computer, both hardware and software, the control and command center of the entire body. Your biology is your hardware. For it to work properly, its machinery like the cells, connections, chemicals, energy, blood flow, and waste processing need to work right. When the brain's biology is working right, all these factors work together in a positive way to maximize your success and a sense of well-being. Your brain is an organ linked to the rest of the body. When your brain is healthy, so too is your brain. The problem with mental illness is people don't look at it as a physical illness. Your brain is actually the most complex organ in your body. We need to treat it like a physical illness and take it seriously. So think of mental illness as brain illness, right? We need to take care of our brain to get it healthy. So how do we optimize our biological health? The first one is with a healthy diet and high quality nutrition. So a healthy diet is like a variety of whole, vitamin-rich foods, okay? Number 2, cardiovascular exercise. This raises your heart rate on a regular basis to improve cognitive abilities, increases your oxygen, blood, and nutrients to the brain. So it's very important that when you're exercising, you need to actually raise your heart rate in order to get it to that aerobic state that it's actually going to be losing weight. I discuss more into this because sometimes it's very important when you think of exercise, you don't want to just go so hard, because that's not effective. If you have, I actually implement a rest-based approach when it comes into exercise, and I dive that into my 3rd module in your Be Your Best program. Third one is drink plenty of water. And we have heard about that, water all the time, right? Our brain is 75 to 80% water, which is which is a lot. Okay, and so we need to be drinking, the amount of water we need to be drinking is about half our body weight in ounces per day. That's very important. Now, if you're not haven't been one to be drinking lots of water, you need to start small, because otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to stop because it's too much water for you, and you're going to end up all your time in the bathroom. So what I suggest is start small. Each week or every couple of days, you start adding another glass, until you get to that point where you're actually drinking your half a body weight, and your body will adjust to this, so you don't find yourself in that state of going to the bathroom all the time. But it's very important, and you'll function better, you'll process better, you'll sleep better, you'll have more energy for exercise. The next one is supplements. Okay, it's very important to get some type of supplements. And the Brain MD supplements, these are through Amen University. There are a variety of supplements that they offer there that as a suggestion that you can look at for other possibilities of getting healthy, either to sleep. There's vitamin D, there's heart, there's cravings, there's stress, things like that. Okay. The next one is medication. So looking at, sometimes it is necessary to take medication. I'm not saying just because I'm a health coach that medication's out the door. No, as sometimes their medication is very purposeful, but we need to analyze what we're taking, and is it working for us, and have that kind of discussion with our family physician. The next one is brain integration. What is that? The brain works best when both sides, the right side and the left side, are engaged at the same time. It's like juggling a couple balls in your hand. You're using both sides of that brain, okay? One to juggle and one to maybe focus that you're catching the other ball. Learning a new skill, using that new skill, playing mind games. I'm not saying playing mind games with other people, but there are actually a lot of apps you can use that are actually using different types of exercise to exercise your brain. Solving math problems, okay? Or helping your kids or grandkids to solve their math problems, because it's been a few years since we were back in school. Mind mapping, that's actually taking a general idea and running ideas off of that general idea. That's actually using both sides of our brain. Next one, make sleep a priority. Okay, we've all heard that sleep is good. 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Okay, and again, that's very important, because at nighttime, our brain uses that time to refresh, renew, and regenerate the cells for the next day's activities. It actually washes over our brain. So it needs that time to have to do that process. Otherwise, we're going to find that our processing time, our reflex time, and our focus time is greatly reduced the next day. Okay. Sleep apnea. This triples actually your risk for depression and dementia, and makes it harder to lose weight. As we just described in the last reason, is that when you don't have adequate sleep is, out of all the things that I teach today, sleep is probably the most important of it all. Because if you don't get sleep, you're not going to be having energy, exercise, or eating right, things like that. And it doubles your risk for Alzheimer's. Because the brain is so dependent on oxygen, untreated sleep apnea literally kills brain cells, which doesn't bode well for your mental well-being. So it's very important to be able to sleep. So in my third module of Be Your Best coaching program is Exercise Strategies Made Easy. We will discuss why exercise is important, what metabolism is, how it can benefit you, how it impacts your hormones, and I introduce a metabolic renewal program, a rest-based program that you can use to reset your hormones, lose weight, and get healthier. So the next section is our psychological or mental health, or our mind. This is how we think and talk to ourselves. It's the running dialogue that goes on in our head, in our mind. It's also our self-concept, how we view ourselves, our body image, the events from past traumas, how that actually impacts us, our overall upbringing, and significant developmental events. This circle decides if we are enough, if we're good enough, if we're smart enough, if we're pretty enough, if we're strong enough, rich enough, and so on and so on. When we feel as if we are enough, we are happier and more successful in our relationships and work. When we feel less than enough, it drives a sense of sadness, anxiety, and failure. Being raised in a reasonably happy home, getting positive messages, and feeling confident in our abilities as children, that contributes to a good psychological health. When we struggle in any of these areas, we are less likely to be psychologically healthy. If we perceive ourselves as unattractive or somehow inferior to our peers, trouble starts to accumulate. So how do we optimize our psychological health? Okay. First, there's therapy and coaching. There's lots of health coaching, life coaching, personal counselors, things like that to reach out, okay? And it's okay. Just because you have you need help in the mental health department doesn't mean that you're going crazy. It just means you need some type of coaching and guidance to help you get healthier. Therapy is sometimes a well-trained guide is what you actually need. The next thing is meditation. Okay, this is taking time to quiet your mind, and this has been linked to a variety of health benefits like improved sleep, decreased stress, and boosts the immune system and enhance brain connectivity. We live in a very fast-paced world where it's just always go, 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 go. But how many times in your day, your week, your month have you taken time just for yourself? For even 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, just for yourself, just to be quiet, just to have self-care. This is so very important. And meditation is not just sitting with your crossed legs and your arms up to your side. This is just being able to have 5 or 10 minutes by yourself just to do some self-care. Go for a walk outside, pray, meditate, all that kind of stuff. The next one is journaling. Journaling is very important. Journaling is just, a moment that comes down. If you have those thoughts racing in your head and you can't deal with them, write it down. Because then it solidifies that thought. And then from that point, then you can start dealing with it. And along with journaling, you can start doing some gratitude. It's important practice, actually, just even this last year of everything that's going on, the stresses up and down, whatever the case may be. It's good to be writing down what in your day are you grateful for, okay? Grateful for food, grateful for that you have a brain, that you have 2 legs, you can get up out of bed, all those simple little things. It doesn't have to be anything big, but gratitude is huge because gratitude actually changes the way your mind is thinking. When you keep doing that into a consistent habit, that actually will change how your brain thinks. Next one is ant therapy. Okay, and I deal with this a great deal in my first module, Detoxifying Your Mind. This is your automatic negative thoughts and how to stop them. And we dive into the kinds of ants that there are, how to deal with them, and how to get into that practice of crushing them, getting them out of your head. So be curious, because change is a process. Be willing to learn new things. Deal with past traumas, grief, and other emotional issues. This is very important because if we get stuck in the past, there's no way that we can start moving forward because that thing is always going to be in that part of our brain that we can't move forward. So we need to learn how to deal with that. And if you need help, there's always so many people, lots of coaches out there, myself included, that can help you move through that process. And sometimes that process won't take a day. It might take a year, it might take longer than that, right? But we need to move through that process and get healthier. And the last one is exercising regularly to improve mood, focus, reduce stress, and minimize the risk of Alzheimer's. The next section is your social health, connections, And these really got slammed this last year because we are so meant to be with other people, and now we all had to move apart from that social connections of family, of friends, and move on to the social media end of doing more Zoom calls if you're that type of person. So social factors are the quality of relationships and any current life stressors. Okay. When things are going well in our lives, our brains tend to do much better, right? When we have those positive connections, then it makes it easier to deal with life and the stressors that life brings to us. And dealing with difficult life circumstances elevates our stress hormones and makes us more vulnerable to illness. Depression is often triggered by stressful life events. The health habits of the people you spend time with, and I mentioned this earlier, will have a dramatic impact on your own health and habits. And I'm not saying, sometimes there's people that you can't move away from because either they're part of your family or they're part of your work situation, but just learning how to handle those type of situations will help you kind of not allow that to be impacting you as well. So how do we optimize our social connections? First one is take a moment to say hello to people as you go through your day. You go to the gas station, you go to the grocery store, you go to the bank, wherever you go, just say hello. That's it, a simple hi, okay? The woman who serves you coffee, you go to Starbucks, cashier at the grocery store, your colleague, your coworker. Ask how that person is and really listen to the response. How many times do you pass somebody in the hallway? I'm good, I'm good. And you don't even wait for the actual answer, right? So just stop, ask them how they're doing. How was their weekend? What are they doing after work or whichever, just something small talk, just to say hello. Increase your opportunities to interact with others, okay? Try an activity. Now, right now, things are kind of getting, some things are closed, some things are open, but it says try an activity at community center, take a class, join a spiritual group, go for a walk in the mall, your neighborhood, or around your office. Engage your strength of kindness to become involved in something larger than yourself. Maybe work at the food pantry, visit a friend or acquaintance. Some of that is very limited right now, but even a Zoom call, FaceTime. I had to learn how to teach my parents how to do FaceTime just to stay connected with them, right? And it's different than picking up a phone and talking to somebody. Now I can actually see how they're doing physically through the computer, but at least I get to do that. Give up your seat. If you take the bus, give up your seat on the bus or in a waiting area. Let someone in front of you stand, like just move spots so somebody behind you can be in front of you, things like that. Just kind of sharing that kindness. Sharing from your own wellspring of experience. Consider what you might like from others to help you feel more connected and offer this to somebody else. A friend, family member, coworker, neighbor. Perhaps you can offer an invite to lunch, an impromptu phone call, or a hearty handshake. Well, handshakes may be out the door, but doing something for your neighbor, like shoveling the driveway, or just doing something nice for somebody else. And reflect on phrases of loving kindness. Okay, so those are some ways there. And the last one is spiritual health. This is our spirit. We are spiritual beings, created with divine purpose, whether or not you believe in a higher power or in God. Having a sense of purpose and a moral code, as well as connections to God, the planet, past generations, and future generations, remind us that our lives do matter. We have a role to play and a calling to fulfill. To be at our best, it's important to know that we are more than just our bodies, minds, brains, and social connections. We have connections to God, oneself, others, and nature. And without the spiritual connections, many people experience a sense of despair or meaningless, which can lead to depression. Research shows that when you have a strong sense of purpose, this will also reduce the chance that your self-esteem will fluctuate with the number of likes that you get on social media. Ultimately, feeling like your life matters and living purposely helps protect you from social warfare you now understand is behind so much of the mental illness. However, a lack of purpose has been associated with a lower level of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, more abdominal fat, and other negative health markers. This also provides us with a system of faith, beliefs, values, ethics, principles, and morals. So it is clear that when increased stress, a bigger belly, poorer health can contribute to negative feelings, that when mixed with low brain reserve can also create mental illness. And brain reserve is all the stressors that have attacked us over the years, whether in childhood or growing up, and we don't have the ability to do healthy things. There's no brain reserve to be able to handle the stressors that when they come into our lives. So how do we optimize our spiritual health? Well, the first one is through meditation and prayer. A healthy spiritual practice may include examples of volunteerism, social contributions, belonging to a group, fellowship, optimism, forgiveness, and expression of compassion. So meditation and prayer is simply a slow breathing, stimulating emotional circuits in the brain and releases feel-good hormones. Okay. Next one is journal to better know yourself. Journal to better know yourself in depth. Look at how your life, at what your life means. Okay, and sometimes it's a way of kind of getting out your frustrations, sadness, things like that. You journal, or even just to remember an event that actually occurred. So journaling is very important. The next one is intention, gratitude, and appreciation. Begin each day with intention. What is your intention for that day? What are you grateful for? And how are you appreciating others and yourself that day? Focus on what you want. Establishing major life goals. So what are your goals that you want to accomplish this year, or even in the next month, or even in the next week? Things like that. Write them down, but not only just write them down, post them where you can see it. But even with your goals, break them down so they're actually achievable. They're realistic, they're measurable, and they're actionable, and they have a timeline so you can evaluate, did I meet that, or can I define them so I can meet them a little bit later than what I had first set them out to be, which is called your SMART goals. Next one is life timeline to see all that you have accomplished. So this is why sometimes it's another thing to journal as well, because you can kind of record, okay, and you can evaluate what have I done in the last week, month, last year, and kind of, okay, you know what, maybe sometimes you might not think you've accomplished very much, but if you've taken that time to record and evaluate, you've actually realized you've accomplished a lot. And of course, another one is genetic research, is your own history, okay, of your family history, of things that you've gone on in the past, and maybe there's something that, okay, that's what happened then, maybe how I can make it better for today, okay? Researchers are learning that while genes are important to healthy longevity, your lifestyle choices may be even more so. So evaluating how they did it in past generations and how you're going to do it better in future generations. So questions you can ask yourself in the spiritual connection portion is, number one, what does your life mean? Okay, the meaning of your life. What is your purpose? Why are you here? What are your values? What are the core values that are important for you? Do you believe in God or a higher power? How does that affect your life? And number 7, what is your connection to past generations, future generations, and our planet? In the spiritual circle, a lack of purpose or connections to something larger than yourself and not living up to your own moral code can create a mental illness. So a tiny habit you can create is, in the morning, ask yourself, what is one purposeful thing I will do today? And when I start getting upset about something happening in my life, I'll ask myself, does this have eternal value? Is this important? Or is it just like, okay, this is really silly. Why am I getting mad at it? Okay, those two things. So the next section is, the third key is knowing your important numbers. Okay, you cannot change what you do not measure. These are some of the typical ones that we recommend. Okay, there are more important numbers, but these are the four more crucial ones. 1, measure of your weight in relation to your height. A normal basal metabolic index, or BMI, is between 18.5 and 25. Okay, overweight ranges from 25 to 30, and over 30 indicates obesity. There are many apps that will help you know where you fall. Knowing your BMI is important because being overweight or obese has been associated with having less brain tissue and lower brain activity. They say as your weight increases, the size and function of your brain decreases, which is very important to know. Plus, obesity doubles for Alzheimer's and depression. Knowing your BMI will help keep your weight in perspective. Number 2 is your waist to height ratio. This is calculated by dividing your waist size by height. For example, a female with a 32-inch waist, would love that, who is 5 foot 10 inches or 70 inches, and you divide that 32 by 70 to get a waist height ratio of 45.7. It's kind of confusing, but to know what that ratio, your waist size is, just basically measuring your waist, okay? So to stay under the 50th percentile, your waist size in inches should be less than half your height. So when measuring your waist size, use a tape measure. Don't just guess or rely on your pant size. Actually, 90% of people underestimate their waist circumference. And usually this measurement is more important than the BMI because it's very dangerous to be carrying extra weight around the waistline. Abdominal fat associated with a larger waist is metabolically active and provides various hormones that can cause harmful health effects like diabetes, blood pressure increase, high cholesterol, and triglyceride levels. The third one is the average number of hours you sleep, and we talked about that in the earlier part of this presentation. If you really want to hurt the health of your brain, then sleep under 78 hours that will have a dramatic impact on your brain. Chronic insomnia triples your risk of death from all causes and associated with cognitive decline. Getting less than 6 hours of sleep at night causes lower overall blood flow to the brain and hurts the mood, focus, and memory for days after. Teenagers who average an hour sleep less than their peers have a higher incidence of depression and suicide. When you sleep less, you eat more and are more likely to be more obese. The negative effects of sleep deprivation are so great that people who are drunk outperform those lacking sleep. At night, the brain washes and cleans itself only during sleep. The brain has a specialized fluid system that helps to get rid of toxins that are built up during the day, including beta amyloid plaque, thought to cause Alzheimer's disease. During the day, the brain is so busy with metabolically active processes that manages our life that this cleaning system is inactive. It only turns on when we're sleeping. So it's really important to get into that deep REM sleep because that's when this process starts happening. Without adequate sleep, this waste clearance system doesn't have enough time to operate, thus allowing toxins to build up over time. This causes cognitive and emotional problems. Think of sleep deprivation effect on the brain as what your home or office would look like if no one bothered to take out the trash for a month, or there's papers stacking up all over the place. So make sleep a priority, 7 to 8 hours a night. To promote a great sleep, eliminate caffeine and alcohol. Exercise in the morning, not at night. Turn off all blue light emitting devices at night. That's your TV, cell phones, plug-ins, anything that emits a blue light. Turn it off, make your room dark, and leave anything else that will affect your sleep outside the bedroom. Make sure your bedroom is cool and very dark. Number 4 is your blood pressure. High blood pressure and even blood pressure are at the higher end of the normal range is associated with lower overall brain function, which means more bad decisions. So if your blood pressure is usually a 120 on 80 is your normal, okay, is your optimal. 120 to 39 is a top number, and 80 to 89 is the bottom number, means you're pre-hypertension. So just before you're classified as having hypertension. 140 or above is a top number, or 90 or above is a bottom number, you actually now have hypertension or high blood pressure. Other ways to lower blood pressure is lose weight, daily exercise, fish oil supplements, and medications. So a brain healthy diet is our last section that we're going to be covering today. Like this phrase says, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food, from Hippocrates. So you can exercise all you want, think all the right thoughts, meditate, take dietary supplements. But when we continue to eat highly processed foods laden with sugar, bad fats and salts, made from ingredients grown with pesticides, flavored with artificial sweeteners, colored with artificial dyes, and treated with artificial dyes, we are unable to keep our brain and body working optimally. So our brain uses about 20 to 30% of the calories we consume. It's the most expensive piece of real estate in our body. And better food choices bring more energy, better focus, better memory, better moods, and a flatter tummy. Mindset is critical. Eating right is not about deprivation, it is about abundance. So when you get your mindset right, the other pieces fall into place. Giving into bad food cravings is indeed sabotaging your health, not a sign of a rational mind. So lastly, in my second module, I kind of did the third and now the second module, I talk about smart eating secrets, a Be Your Best coaching program. I discuss in this module what is smart eating, how to create your own eating plan for success, the 9 tips for healthy nutrition. And again, the links will be posted in the comments below. And the last one, there are 4 distinct areas to feed our brain: biological, psychological, social, and a spiritual connection. So now you see how these all fit together and they make it easier to get healthy. So the last one is I will give you here is the 9 rules of brain healthy eating. So the first one is you want to think high quality calories and not too many of them. Be both quality and quantity smart. 1 cinnamon roll can cost you 720 calories and drain your brain. But a 400-calorie salad made of spinach, salmon, organic blueberries, apples, walnuts, and red bell peppers, I'm getting hungry, with oil and vinegar dressing, will supercharge your energy and make you smarter. So think of calories like money, and I hate wasting money. If you have a high metabolism, like having a lot of money, you don't have to worry much about calories. But if you have a low metabolism, which gets worse as we grow older, you have to be wise with how you spend your calories. To get the most of your food, think CROND. C is calorie restriction. Calorie restriction. Optimally nutritious and delicious. Make sure your calories count. So that's calorie restriction, optimally nutritious, and delicious. Keep a food journal of what you eat so you stop lying to yourself and have calorie amnesia. And I'm not saying, when I first started becoming healthy, I took this journaling. I thought, I'm not going to be able to memorize and write down all that I eat. It's actually really important when you first start a change process is to just journal for the couple days, just to get an idea of where you are in your calories, in your food that you eat. So you have, when you write it down, you're more aware, oh, okay, I didn't realize that I ate that at that time, or I shouldn't have eaten that, or yes, that was good. So keeping a journal is very important. Don't drink your calories. Your brain, as we discussed before, is 80% water. Anything that dehydrates, it decreases your thinking and impairs your judgment. Drink at least 8 glasses a day. People tend not to count the calories they drink, but those extra 225 calories from an energy drink will put an extra 23 pounds of fat on your body in a year. Number 3, eat clean protein. Protein helps balance your blood sugar and provides the necessary building blocks for brain health. It helps to maintain lean muscle mass and start your day with protein to boost your focus and concentration skills. There's lots of sources of protein that you can incorporate into your diet. Eat smart carbs. Carbs are divided into two categories: simple, or the white breads, cake, white rice, etc., or B, complex, whole plant foods and fruits. So simple carbs cause your blood sugar to rise, and your complex carbs are digested more slowly, higher in fiber, and lower your glycemic index, or your sugar, the amount of sugar that a food has. Carbs are not the enemy, but it's those carbs that have been slowly, carbs not the enemy, but those that have been stripped of any nutrient value are. The next one is focus on healthy fats. Fat is not the enemy. Good fats are essential to your health. The solid weight of your brain is 60% fat after the water is removed. Eliminate all bad fats, such as trans fat. Focus on healthy fats, especially those that contain omega-3 fatty acids found in salmon, avocados, spinach, walnuts, leafy green vegetables. High cholesterol is not good for the brain, which increases the risk for Alzheimer's disease in your 60s and 70s. However, too low a cholesterol can lead to depression, homicide, and suicide. Scary. Eat from the rainbow, a colorful rainbow, just like this picture shows, very colorful. Okay, having natural foods of many different colors will boost antioxidant levels in your body and help keep your brain young. Cook with brain healthy herbs and spices to boost your brain. Turmeric contains curcumin, which decreases the plaques in the brain thought to be responsible for Alzheimer's disease. Saffron, just as effective antidepressants and major depression. Rosemary, thyme, and sage help your memory. Cinnamon helps with attention and blood sugar. High in antioxidants and is also an aphrodisiac. Garlic and oregano boost blood flow to the brain. And ginger, cayenne, and black pepper, the hot, spicy taste that comes from the gingerols, the capsaicin, and the piperin compounds of these spices help boost metabolism that have an aphrodisiac effect. And 8, make sure your food is clean as possible. Eat as much as an organically grown or raised foods as possible. Pesticides used in commercial farming can accumulate in your brain and body, even though the levels in your foods are low. Try to eat meat that is hormone-free, antibiotic-free, and is free-range and grass-fed. Eliminate food additives, preservatives, artificial dyes, and sweeteners. That means you must start reading your food labels. If you don't know what is in something, don't eat it. Would you ever buy something if you did not know the cost of it? Of course not. Now is the time to really get thoughtful and serious about the food you put into your body. And the 9th rule is if you have trouble with your mood, energy, memory, weight, blood sugar, blood pressure, or skin, eliminate the foods that might be the cause of that trouble. Did you know that if there's something wrong with your skin, actually has a relation to your brain health? So cut out wheat and any other gluten-containing grains or food, as well as dairy, soy, and corn. Did you know that gluten can literally make people crazy? When you eliminate wheat or other gluten sources, barley, rye, spelt, imitation meat, soy sauce, from the diet, your stomachs and brains get better. You see, I know what it's like not to be able to lose weight, unable to sleep at night. I know what it's like to feel like you're going crazy because you're feeling overwhelmed with life changes and responsibilities you have in your life. I have been able to discover how to lose weight, even while going through menopause, to have energy to last through the day, learn the secret to a great sleep routine. I can show you how to lose weight and how to keep it off, how to incorporate an exercise strategy that is right for you, that will help keep you burning fat even after the workout, all while managing the menopause symptoms when they occur. And so where do we go from here? These here are the 3 modules that I've been discussing through the presentation today. The first one, detoxify your mind. The dates there is March 1st Smart Eating Secrets, and that is held on March 18th. And Exercise Strategies Made Easy, there's actually one coming up next Tuesday, as well as March 29th. And there's a Zoom link, but we are going to be sending that to you as well. Or if you wanted to skip to the chase and talk to me, you can schedule for a free Be Your Best strategy session. And there's my link there, transformyourbrain.as.me and /. And there's my contact information. So thank you very much. Is there any questions at all? Now is your time to kind of open up your Zoom, your questions, and ask away.